All right, these are my 4 audience members. When most think about the definition of a city, they think of the demographic layout of a specific region. They think of tall buildings, professional sports teams, big businesses, and lots of cars. However, for me, I tend to look beyond the physical entities a metropolitan area may hold. When I see a skyscraper, I don't see a building, I see innovation. When I attend a football game, I don't see a sports team, I see passion. When I see cars whizzing in and out of streets at frantic rates, I don't see transportation, I see a calling of urgency, of excitement. A city to me isn't just physical aspects, its real components lie in the intangible things. New York City is the embodiment of these things, captivating the minds of go-getters and claiming the hearts of romantics. A true city holds emotion, a feeling that supersedes anything else. In New York, where the minds shine brighter than the city lights, this emotion is present. It's alive. And after all, what's living if you're not alive? When analyzing the introspective means of existence, it is necessary to include the concept of purpose. Life requires purpose. This is no debate. However, the discovery of such purpose is where the real turmoil is to be found. While ultimately the autonomy falls into the hands of the individual to discover their own purpose, it is undoubtedly required to have access to vessels to pursue one's purpose and to fulfill their goals. Just as a painter must have a brush, a writer must have a pen, and a city must have its opportunities. New York City is short of nothing such. As reported by the NYC Government Business Report, New York is home to over 200,000 businesses. It claims the center of financial discussion, home to Wall Street and some of the biggest banks in the world. In terms of business, just as the economy begins and ends here, so too does the individual. While these components often negatively associate its members with characteristics like greed, power, and selfishness, it also claims the center to innovation, competition, and passion. But New York does not stop at the pursuits of the rich man. It extends to that of the academic and the altruistic alike. New York City holds the property of 110 universities, of those some of the most prestigious in the world. New technologies, research, and discoveries seem to emerge from the city every day, glowing with the desire to learn and create flows through the city, exciting and motivating those who roam through it. These vessels promote the individual to realize the tangible discovery of real success lying directly before their eyes. It excites the city member, bringing an opportunistic spirit to the city rivaled by no other. The air smells of opportunity, drawing to it a crowd of risk takers, promoters, and go-getters. It claims the attention of the idealist and the pragmatist both, uniting them in the purpose of one commonality, purpose. It seems that no one can truly understand my enamorment with the city quite like Woody Allen could. In his 1979 film, he writes of his main character, "He was too romantic about New York, as he was about everything else. He thrived on the hustle and bustle of the crowds and traffic." I find myself agreeing with the same sentiments of that expressed above. New York commands a presence of itself like no other. New York ranks as one of the 5 most diverse cities in the world, according to research conducted by AT&T. Supplementing this is its inclusion of immigrants throughout its barriers. As the New York State Report recorded, housing a population of immigrants that make up nearly a third of its entire population. Yet despite such cultural, social, and racial diversity, it seems that there is still a collective identity that unifies its residents. There's a humble transparency of desire that radiates off of the spirits of each and every New Yorker. This desire is survival in its purest form, and craving for its continuation. Despite the individualistic connotation that this characteristic holds, it seems to be a commonality that exists throughout the city that unifies all members alike on their journey throughout life. Finally, New York is a city that holds integrity and truth in everything that it does. According to the New York Daily News, New York was polled as the rudest city in the nation. Many find New Yorkers to be cold, abrupt, and disinterested. However, Smithsonian Magazine offers an argument congruent with my beliefs, writing, "It is said that New Yorkers are rude, but I think what people mean by this is that New Yorkers are more familiar." What I found is that New Yorkers aren't rude, they are honest. They speak their minds when the situation calls for it, out of a place of care. They despise the system of faking smiles and using manners, and focus on genuine emotions and actions. They cut to the point and seek truth from their fellow neighbor, and refuse to compromise of anything short. In a city of passion, excitement, and spirit, it is transparent energy that pushes the city to new limits, allowing it to stand on its own. In conclusion, New York grants the individual purpose and surrounds him with residents who are in the same pursuits as is he. It never settles, and never allows its residents to settle either. It breathes survival and unites its members together throughout this ongoing battle of life, full of adversities and successes. And along this journey, it asks for no lies and no excuses, just humble and authentic passion in an attempt to perpetuate the attitudes that have allowed this city to be the greatest creation in our modern world. Thank you. Thank you for watching.